Okay, I have a bone to pick with the horror community. I'm all for the interest, passion, and dedication many fans have to their favorite genre. Hell, I'm deep in it myself. But from what I see on a regular basis, the community tends to overwhelmingly favor slasher movies and their iconic villains over all else. I swear, almost every day on Twitter and Instagram, it's just everyone playing Fuck, Marry, Kill with Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and Freddy Krueger. I mention this because it seems like films like 2004's The Grudge, the massive $110 million hit that was everywhere for a time, has seemingly vanished from the cultural conversation. Maybe it's because parodies and lackluster sequels watered down the brand to the point of irrelevance, but come on, shame on all of you. The Grudge remains a fantastic spooky movie with some intense visuals that are unrivaled even now. How does this film not have the cultural horror footprint it deserves? The Grudge is a remake of a Japanese film done in a smart, respectful way that isn't just changing everything to be American and that's that. Here's producer Sam Raimi explaining why he thinks the remake was necessary.
The reason I was so attracted to this film was because Takashi Shimizu is such a great, masterful filmmaker, and I wanted to help bring his work to the rest of the world. You know, there's a large American audience that won't go see a film made in Japan starring Japanese actors in Japanese. I felt this was such a great story that the rest of the world should see it. And so that's what led to the decision to remake it with American actors in English so that the American audience could appreciate it.
Look, he's not wrong. Foreign films are a tough sell now, let alone 15 years ago. But what the English language version of The Grudge does is very smart. First off, the original film's writer-director directs this version as well. While it's not completely unheard of, it's still very, very rare. This allows for the tone and style of the original to mostly remain intact, and the production is fully supportive of that. It still takes place entirely in Japan, and while the main characters are American, their presence there makes sense and is used to great effect in the script. Notably, Clea Duvall's character has a sequence that realistically conveys being absolutely lost in a place where you don't know the language and culture. You can immediately place yourself in her shoes, and the feeling can be quite frightening. Not saying Japan is frightening, just, the potential helplessness of getting lost in a strange land, etc. I mean, look, maybe it is problematic, I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem as egregious as just putting white people / Scarlett Johansson in every movie where they don't necessarily fit, but I guess ultimately, this isn't up to me to decide. Anyway, The Grudge is a haunted house story with a bit more going on than the usual one of these things. It starts with Bill Pullman not saying a word and then committing suicide, and from there the film is off and running, told in a non-linear, chapter-like structure that's very appealing. Not once do you ever feel like, wait, who's this? Where in the timeline am I? Why am I watching this scene? Everything fits perfectly and feels right. It's really quite impressive. One of my complaints about haunted house movies is the amount of childish nonsense the ghosts do before finally getting to the point, and that's not the case with The Grudge. These ghosts are not screwing around. And by the end of the film, it all mostly makes sense. Mostly. There are a few point A to point B things that aren't explained well enough to my liking, but I don't need it all spelled out. I'm on board. The Grudge has style and substance and scares, and that's a terrific combination for a horror movie. The cast works, the locale works, it all just works. If you've seen The Grudge, you need to revisit it, and if you haven't, come on. I want to leave you with my favorite part of The Grudge, which is when the film's grizzled police detective gets killed off. And it's notable because he is so pissed that he is getting drowned by a ghost. It's delightful, in a really messed up way. Watch The Grudge.
Just when I thought I could not be stopped, when my chance came to be king, the ghost of